Good afternoon, everyone. I'll call this meeting of the Standing Committee on Government Operations. My name is Rylund Johnson. I am the MLA for Yellowknife North and chair of this committee. Today we will be holding a clause-by-clause review of Bill 63, an act to amend the Official Languages Act. I will begin by asking committee members to introduce themselves, starting on my left.
Caitlin Cleveland, MLA for Cam Lake.
Richard Ajurk, MLA for Tunandevalidi.
Frida Marcellas, MLA for Tabacha.
Kevin O'Reilly, Frame Lake.
Thank you very much. And Minister, I will turn it over to you to introduce your staff and any opening comments you have on the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you for inviting me here to speak to you and members of the committee about Bill 63, an act to amend the Official Languages Act. Today, I am joined at the table by John MacDonald, Deputy Minister of Education, Culture and Employment, Shannon Barnett-Aikman, Assistant Deputy Minister of Education and Culture, Benoit Boutin, Executive Director of Francophone Affairs Secretariat, and sorry, they are not at the table with me. Now we're on the list of people who are in the gallery here. Shauna Coleman, Director of Indigenous Languages and Education Secretariat, Laura Jeffrey, Legislation Division with the Department of Justice, my Ministerial Special Advisor, Rana Sherigan, and Senior Advisor to the Deputy Minister, Julia Mott. The Official Languages Act of the Northwest Territories seeks to recognize, preserve, and enhance the use of Indigenous languages in the NWT, along with the two official languages of Canada. To do so, the Act designates Chipewyan, Cree, English, French, Gwich'in, Inuinnaqtun, Inuktitut, Inuvialuktun, North Slavey, South Slavey, and Tlicho as the official languages of the NWT. The Act requires a review to be conducted every 5 years. Although Standing Committee has not yet completed its current statutory review, in the interest of supporting some legislative change in the 19th Assembly, the Department welcomed a set of initial recommendations from Committee for amendments to the Act. Based on Committee's recommendations and the Department's engagement with stakeholders and the public, ECE is seeking to amend the Act to clarify and strengthen the role of the Languages Commissioner, to merge and empower the language boards as a single unified board, and to emphasize the importance of language protection as a means of implementing the Articles of the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples. I wish to thank Committee for its thoughtful review and collaboration in helping to advance this important legislative initiative. I'm pleased to bring forward these amendments to support the protection of all official languages in the NWT. This concludes my opening remarks. I'd be happy to answer any of Committee's questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Minister. Are there any questions for the Minister on the bill? Emily Marcellos.
There was a letter written by the Language Commissioner on January the 11th. I know it was over the deadline, but one of the questions that was asked in there is that there are 11 official languages in the Northwest Territories, and we seem to have a tier approach to French and language holding the priority placements, putting the non-Indigenous languages at a lower level. Could you explain that to me, Minister? Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister.
Thank you. We value all official languages. Perhaps I can go to the Deputy Minister for some history on that distinction. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. As the Minister said, all of the 11 official languages are equally respected and prioritized. They are, as members will understand, subject to deeply different historical realities, colonialism not least of which. When it comes to whether it would be services or communications within and across government institutions, the French language has a history with charter of rights and freedoms, court proceedings, and decisions that have led to how the government provides those services. And as well, there are practical realities such as number of speakers and available translation services that have a role to play. Whereas with respect to the Indigenous languages, there is a vastly different history and different funding mechanisms and different realities as to how those services are provided by government. So I think I'll leave it at that, but they are treated equally. Focus on Indigenous languages has been of late on revitalization and trying to get new speakers and assist those who are speakers to be able to access services and strengthen those languages so that in turn, in the longer run, government services can be provided more effectively. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Deputy Minister. Any follow-up, Emily Martsellos?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Having all 11 official languages recognized at the same level is the aim of the Office of the Official Languages Commissioner. Could the Minister comment on that? Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Minister.
Thank you. I wish we had the same services available in every Indigenous language that we have in French. Over the last decade, we've really improved the delivery of services in French, and they really are setting a standard, and we look forward to the day when there are enough Indigenous language speakers to provide the same services as French. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further questions, comments from committee? Hearing none, does committee agree to proceed to a clause-by-clause review of Bill 63, an act to amend the Official Languages Act? Pretty lackluster agreed, committee. Committee, where possible, I will call clauses in groups. We will defer the bill number and title until after consideration of the clauses. Please turn to page 1 of the bill. Clauses 1 to 5. Does committee agree? Okay, I'm going to need you all to say agreed. Clauses 6 to 9. Does committee agree? Agreed. Thank you. Clause 10. MLA Cleveland.
Mr. Chair, I move that Clause 10 of Bill 63 be amended by deleting the proposed paragraph 23 brackets 1.1 bracket C and substituting the following. Bracket C, a summary of any recommendations, requests, or applications made by the Languages Commissioner respecting each complaint, semicolon, end. Mr. Chair, may I?
Thank you. As an order to the motion, MLA Cleveland.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, I just wanted to kind of provide some background information on this one. This was a specific comment. This motion came from a specific comment made from the Languages Commissioner over concerns that the NWT is full of a lot of small communities, and at times we feel like one large community, just given how well we know one another. And it was important that people are still able to make recommendations to the Languages Commissioner without being concerned that there are specific identifiers in any of the complaints. And so this motion arose from making sure that we're not deterring any complainants from raising any concerns to the Languages Commissioner for fear of breaches in confidentiality. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you to the motion. Question has been called. All those in favor? Thank you. The motion is carried. Does the minister concur?
I concur.
Sure. Motion is carried and concurred with. To clause 10 as amended. Does committee agree? Agree. Clauses 11 to 15. Does committee agree? Agree. We will now return to the bill number and title, Bill 63, an act to amend the Official Languages Act. Does committee agree? Does committee agree that Bill 63, an act to amend the Official Languages Act, is now ready for consideration? Bill 63, an act to amend the Official Languages Act as amended, is now ready for consideration of the whole committee of the whole. MLA Cleveland.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, I move that Bill 63, an act to amend the Official Languages Act, be reported to the Assembly as ready for consideration in committee of the whole. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
As amended. The motion is in order. To the motion. Question has been called. All those in favor? Motion is carried. Bill 63, an act to amend the Official Languages Act as amended, will be reported to Assembly as ready for consideration in committee of the whole. Minister Simpson, on behalf of committee, thank you for your ongoing work on this, and that concludes our public portion of this briefing.